Welcome to Rawson Reports Live. Thank you so much for joining us. Packed show, lots to talk about. I just had the craziest phone conversation with a woman named Lori, and I'm not going to give her last name, a scam victim to the tune of $14,000. Wait until you hear what these scammers actually did to lure her in, and it works. She's actually a tech recruiter. She works, she's sharp as a tack, and she fell for it. And what happened when she went to the bank to actually take out the $14,000. What happened next is even crazier. So Lori is joining us for an exclusive live interview, and she's going to expose all their secrets so you don't fall for it, which is really cool of her, even though she said she's embarrassed. And I said, you shouldn't be embarrassed because people fall for this every single day. So she's going to get into that. We have a lot of other amazing stories today, too. When a scam is actually real, we tell you all the time, hey, look out for these things about a text that comes in. You know, don't answer this, don't answer that. Well, a woman followed that advice, but to the extreme, and it ended up being actually from the government. So we're going to show you what happened to her, plus how you can tell the difference between a scam text and the real text and what to do to figure out the difference. Also, this is pretty crazy. We have a privacy alert for you. Your TV is spying on you right now. Mine is right behind me. That's why I'm blocking it. Spying on you. Your refrigerator is spying on you. We're going to tell you all the data it's collecting right now when you don't even know it. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step to shut it off, how to shut off the trackers. We're actually going to go model by model. I have the details of all of that, how to shut it off so it stops spying. Also, turns out there's a new warning about criminals casing out your house using Google Maps. Because think about it, you know those street views, you know those Google cars that drive around and they have the street view? Yeah, they're taking photos of your house. Now, criminals don't have to like stake out your house at night with the mask. They can sit on their couch on Google and look for all the exits, the windows. Oh, we're going to go in this way. There's probably a bedroom over there, it looks like, over there. We're going to go in that way. That's how we're going to get out. I'm going to show you how to get your house photo off Google. It's really easy. We're going to do the step-by-step together right here. I'm going to walk you through it. Then you can share it to all your friends and family. Insurance companies, we just found that, speaking of privacy, insurance companies are now flying drones secretly over your house to reject your coverage. Basically, like, oh, we see there's a problem with your roof. Rejected. Without you even knowing it, they're taking photos of your house from above. Is that an invasion of privacy, or are they just doing their job? Bring in the comments. We're going to talk about it. And finally, what not to buy at the dollar store. There's one thing I don't want you to buy, and I'm going to show you what it is because it's really, really not good. Plus, some hotel deals just dropped for the holidays that you need to purchase right now. So some great hotel deals. But let's start with Lori.
Hold on, Jeff. Before you go on, please like and subscribe to our channel. It helps the algorithm, helps what we're doing. Please like and subscribe.
Mike, the producer, coming in hot.
That's it, baby.
Thanks,
now,
Mike.
Please, as you were saying.
Yeah, when you like and subscribe, it really helps the algorithm, as Mike said, and pushes this out, and really helps us. Where I'm an independent consumer journalist. Mike has a family to feed, so I need to pay Mike.
That's right.
Yeah, so like and subscribe. It really helps to fuel our work. All right, let's bring in Lori. Hey, Lori, you there? There you are. Hey, Lori, how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Boy, have you been through an ordeal. So let me just tell people just for a second. You're 72 years old. You are my mom's friend. My mom called me and said, you're not going to believe this. I think you guys were playing tennis, right?
Right.
And you said, and you told her the whole story, knowing what I do for a living, saying, I just got scammed. This is insane. Listen to the story. My mom calls me and says, you got to talk to Lori. I said, is Lori going to talk to us? You know, so I call you. You're like, I'm really embarrassed. But this story is nuts. But you really want to help people, and you're going to expose their playbook. You're going to expose everything they did so we don't fall for what you kind of fell for.
Yeah.
So what do you do for a living? You're a tech recruiter, right?
I'm a tech recruiter, and I've worked for probably every big Fortune 500 company that exists and have had hours and hours of training on security and phishing and what to look out for. So the fact that I got taken in is pretty embarrassing, but pretty amazing.
All right, so Yeah, this is a Geek Squad scam, right? So this is a pretty common one. Best Buy has the Geek Squad, and they sent my commission to throw up the email that she got. It mimics kind of the Geek Squad. It's called Geek Prime. I've redacted some private information, but they basically say, hey, you need service on your Mac and Windows. There's the price, $530.75. And they want you to reach out to them. So Lori, what happened next? Take us through.
Well, I mean, that email said completed, and on the bottom it said, if you have any questions, there was a number. So I called the number and I spoke to some man. I said, I got this email that you charged me for this piece of software or whatever. I didn't order it. I want a refund. He said, oh, no problem. I'll put you through the refund. I said, okay. And he puts me through to another gentleman. Oh, and before he did that, he said, this is my name. My name is Mike Wilson. Here's my telephone number if you need me. So then he put me through the refund, and I said I'd like a refund. He said, okay, well, we're going to credit your checking account. And that should have been, my light bulb should have gone off, because I said, my checking account, I know I bought this laptop at Best Buy with a credit card. Why my checking account? He said, well, that's how we issue credits. So I'm going to send you a form to complete. So he sent it to my laptop, to my email, and I clicked on it. And I guess as soon as I clicked on it, he had access to my world.
So let me explain how that works, right? It's called a malware link. You do it, and all of a sudden they're inside your computer entirely.
Right.
That's why we say never click links from anybody you don't know, because there's no really going back.
Well, I should have known that.
No. I'm not. I get it. I'm just trying to explain to everybody how fast it can happen. I mean, by the way, I've clicked links I'm not supposed to click. It happens. Just really hope that somebody's not bad on the other side. Continue.
Right. So he sent me a form to complete. And while he was doing that, I opened up my online banking account to see if there was anything there. And sure enough, it looked like there was a debit of $500 some odd dollars. So I said, oh, they already charged me. He said, okay, fill out the form, but we're going to credit you in 2 installments, $150, and then the difference, like $300 some odd. He said, so type in $150 first, which I did. I hit enter, and all of a sudden 15,000 shows up on the screen. And he said, oh my God, you typed in the wrong amount, and we just credited you $15,000 as opposed to $150. And I looked on my checking account, and sure enough, there was a credit pending of $15,000.
So actually on your credit, on your account,
Yes.
you're in your bank app or whatever, and it says $15,000 credit.
Pending.
Pending.
So
That's the important.
I like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He said, listen, you have to hang up you have to get to the bank right now. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm a working woman. I have meetings with my manager in like 10 minutes. I'll get there when I get there. He said, no, they're going to freeze your account, and they're going to tax you business taxes, because this is a business transaction. So you need to, he says, trust me, I'm a banker, and I know this is going to happen. They're going to freeze your account. Plus, I'm going to lose my job because I just credited you $15,000 as opposed to $150. So I got agitated. I quickly grabbed he says, go get into your car, but keep me on the phone. And even that didn't give me a clue that this was crazy. I got into the car. I said,
look, you're looking at your bank account, and it actually says 15,000 pending. So it's like semi-legit, it looks like, almost, because
so I panicked. I said, okay. I drove over. He says, when you get to the parking lot, let me know. So I drive into the Bank of America parking lot, and I said, okay, I'm at the bank. What am I going to do with the money when I get it? So he said, we have an account at Wells Fargo. I said, well, that's great. There's a Wells Fargo right across the street. He said, no. We have a Dropbox. I said, okay. So go into the bank, keep me on the phone, but put it in your pocketbook, and and by this point, I'd already written out a check to myself to cash for $14,000.
I mean, you're all in.
I'm all in. And I go to the teller, and he says, don't tell the teller it's for Geek Squad. Tell him you're buying a daughter a car.
Wow. So hold on. That's important. The criminal actually knew and predicted that the bank was going to give you shit.
Right. Exactly. So this jerk, who doesn't even have a daughter, thank you very much. I go to the teller with my $14,000 check.
Don't talk about my friend Lori that way.
And my license, and so he has proof of who I am, and he says to me, "What's this money for?" It's a lot of money. I said, "Well, I'm buying a car from my neighbor for my daughter." He looked at me and he said, "I have to call the bank manager." So I said, "Okay."
So you actually lied. You lied for the criminal.
Yes, I did.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't want to get in trouble because he said it was a business transaction would tax me.
And they made it like it was your mistake, that you filled out the form wrong, and you're the whole reason this whole thing is happening. If you had just typed in 150, we would have been just fine.
So the bank manager calls me and she says, "Go into my office. I'll be right there." So before she gets in, I pick the phone out of my pocketbook and I said to him, "They're giving me a hard time. You might not get your money." And she walks in. She said, "Are you on the phone?" I went, "Yes." She said, "Shut your phone down," which I did. And she said, "You want to tell me what happened?" And I tell her. She said, "You're the third person that came in here today."
She said it's a scam.
She said it's a scam.
And you were the fourth person in that particular bank branch, one bank branch out of a million bank branches that day with the same scam.
So I said, I start crying. I mean, I just start weeping. Yeah. Oh my God, how stupid could I be? And I said, "Can you look at my checking account?" So she goes on to my checking account and she said, "There's no credit. There's no debits of 500. There's no credits of 15,000. They used AI. They did something. I don't know how they duplicated what looked like my checking account, but they did that." And so she changed my passwords. She told me to change my passwords on my other bank account just in case, they should, they had gotten onto my system. She said, "And then call Hewlett Packard or go to Best Buy and have your laptop cleaned out," which I did. I went home. And
the real Geek Squad in the store.
I called HP help desk, and they were able to go into my computer. They did leave a virus on my computer, and they cleaned it out. And then I took a Xanax.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Seriously. Oh, so Lori, what are your takeaways? I mean, you're an incredibly smart person, and I always hate when people say, and I talk to scam victims all the time who are like, "I'm so stupid." You said it 3 times. You're not. These guys wouldn't be doing what they're doing if they only relied on stupid people to fall for it. The truth of the matter is, look, 3 other people that day in that bank went in falling for whatever you fell for. They're smart. They're smart. They're doing this. They work on volume, right? They're like, "We're going to send out 1 million of these things, and if 5 people fall for it, great." That's the business model.
Yeah.
But that's
frightening because he was really believable. He said, I used to be a banker. I know that, if they saw this kind of transaction, they'll freeze your account. I panicked. I totally panicked.
Was there an accent? Was there any red flags?
No, not at all. I asked him, "Where are you physically?" He said, "I'm in California."
And sounded American, the whole thing.
Yeah. He was not in India. I don't know. He had a New York accent.
Look, you're dealing with a professional con artist, and that's what I always try to say. We're out living our lives. We know there are bad people out there. We don't like to think they're going to come into our life at any minute, but they're out there, and this is what they're doing. So, look, we learned a lot from you, Lori. Thank you.
I'm glad. Anytime. Now and when I got home, I called my manager and I said, "Promise me you will not fire me when you hear what I just did." I said, because I've had all this training. I didn't even think to look at the email address.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Always look at the email address, and they'll always have they're going to make it look like Geek Squad. They're going to make it look like Best Buy or whatever, but there's usually like 1 letter off or something.
Right. And well, that was a Gmail account.
Yeah, they're not going to write from a regular Gmail account.
Well, whoever it was.
Now we know.
Pretty. Now we know.
I'm so sorry this had to happen to you for you to be able to help us.
Right. Well, I aim to please.
And by the way, shout out to Bank of America for
Yes, very much so.
Right?
I mean, she was savvy. I told her, I said, I owe you a lunch.
I love it. Lori, thank you so much for joining us. I really,
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. This really, really helps because, guys, if you get this, and you will, I think some of the comments are already coming in, Lori, about people who've gotten this too. We all need to beware because we can all be Lori. Lori is no dumber than any of the rest of us, right? When it comes to this stuff. Lori's smart. We're smart, but they are getting smarter. So we have to get smarter. And Lori, you did it. You did a mitzvah today. You really helped a lot of people.
That's good. Maybe I'll go to heaven.
Yeah, you are. You are. If I have anything to say about it, which I don't.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lori, for all of
You're
your
welcome.
help. Thank you. And we're not clicking on links anymore.
No.
Not clicking on links.
Have a great day.
All right, go beat my mom at tennis.
I will.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, Lori. So brave and really, really helpful to Lori for that. Your TV has something in it called ACR, which is automatic content recognition. It comes as part of the TV, and it is monitoring every single thing on your television set, as crazy as that sounds. Not just the shows you watch, not just when you're on cable, what you're watching on Netflix, what you watch on YouTube on your TV. If you plug in your laptop and mirror something to your TV, they're watching that too, and they are collecting all that data. And this is why you always say, like, how do they know how to serve me a TikTok ad? How do they know how to serve me a Facebook ad? It's because you're doing stuff in the privacy of your own home that you don't think anybody is listening to. That's one of the ways they're doing it. The TV set right there is actually spying on you. If you have a smart refrigerator, that's spying on you. If you have a smart speaker, that is spying on you. So again, it's something called ACR, and it's used for micro-targeted ads. That's the whole name of the game now in the ad business. They want to micro-target. Look, when these advertisers used to advertise and spend so much money on broadcast television, they worked in volume, right? I want to hit millions of people at once. But now if you're a car dealership, wouldn't you rather spend your money on somebody who has been watching a lot of car videos lately in the privacy of their own home, or somebody who watches TV shows about cars or something involving cars and pauses the video sometimes when cars come on? All of a sudden, you can micro-target that person. You're much more likely to get a sale. So you need to shut off this ACR. I'm going to put a link in our description here of this video to tell as soon as we're off with each. I literally have it for Hisense, Roku TVs, Samsung, Sony's. I have the exact setup about what settings to go into to shut off the ACR. But on your TV, you want to shut off ACR as well. If you have a smart speaker like Alexa or Google or Siri, you go into the app settings, delete or limit voice recordings. That's how to do it on those speakers. Delete or limit voice recordings in the settings. Same thing for security cameras and doorbells. Remember, that thing is on 24/7 outside your house for security. It's monitoring everything going on. It can listen to your conversations. Again, they're selling that stuff in some cases to third parties. Your data is the most valuable thing there is, and we're giving it away for free. So anyway, I want you to shut off the ACR on your TVs, the automatic content recognition. Go into the description. I'm going to drop in there exactly how to do it. More privacy issues today. God, it's getting to be too much. There's a warning out, a new warning about how criminals are casing our homes from the luxury of their own house. They're sitting in their homes, their apartments, their couches, and they're casing your house to rob it. Back in the day, they'd have to do drive-bys, be shady, be in the neighborhood. What window are we going to break to get in? Where do we think the bedrooms are? What are the comings and goings of the family? Now, it's all right there for you on Google Maps, and I'm going to show you right now how to get your house off of Google Maps and blur it out so nobody can see it, right? We don't want the public to be able to see our house by clicking a button. So I want to take you through this step by step, and I want you to share this with all your friends and family. And by the way, good time to remind you to like the video and subscribe because we want this video to go wide. So Mike, let's roll what I did earlier today. This is actually my childhood house. This is my childhood house. You go on Google Maps and hit Street View, and you see in the top left corner, there's a Street View photo of the house, right? click onto the street view photo. Okay, you see it right there, clicking on it. That's the house I grew up in, by the way, on Long Island. How cool is that? So you click on that. In the top left, I've blurred it out, but that's the address over there. And you see those 3 little dots to the next to the address right there. Click that. Then you come down to report a problem, right? This is easy. Hit report a problem. Center that red box right in the middle of your house, what you want blurred. And then you see this form below it. Fill out that form. Boom. You're done. That's it. You just submit it to Google, and they're going to blur out your house on Google. And I urge all of you to do that right now. That's exactly what I want you to do. Okay. And by the way, I should mention only the tenant or the owner of the home can do it. Only the tenant or the owner has the access to do that, which makes sense. We don't want other people having access. So you just have to prove that you're the owner. There's a way to do it for Apple too, which I'll get into another time, but Google Maps is the big one right now. So do that right now. But there's something you can't hide from. The insurance company is also spying on your house. They're now using drones. Can you believe this? I just read this, and I've done some investigating in the last day. Insurance companies are now using drones to fly over your house, take secret photos. They don't ask you. They don't say, hey, we're flying a drone over your house. They fly the drone over. They take secret photos of your house, and they can be like, ooh, there's a crack in the roof. Cancel coverage. Or you're applying for coverage. Drone comes over, takes the photos. Mike, show one of the photos of the drone show. Yeah, the insurance. Here's the headline from the local CBS in Boston. Insurance companies using drones to inspect homes without alerting homeowners. Here's what you should know. And here's one of the photos of the actual of them doing it. And they have all this stuff. This is an insurance drone flying over somebody's house who has no idea the drone is there, probably canceling your coverage, charging you more money. What do you guys think of that? Write into the comments. I'm actually curious to see some of these. Is this an invasion of privacy? This feels to me like a massive invasion of privacy. Like I have coverage with you. There are no issues, but now you're just going to try to fly over my house and cancel my coverage because there's a cracked roof tile that I'd have no way of seeing. And they're not going to tell you when they fly over your house. That also feels like an invasion of privacy. What if you're outside in your backyard? What if you're in private, you're with your family in your backyard, somebody can fly a drone over, and the purpose isn't to help you, let's be honest. The purpose is to help them. Yeah, Patty saying it's an invasion, right, Patty? Yeah, call you up there. Yeah, Patty, it's an invasion of privacy. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I guess the other argument could be the insurance companies are saying, look, we have a right to know what's going on. It is creepy. Yeah, Nancy, bullshit, kind of. I guess their perspective would be, we have a right to know what's going on with our houses. We insure them. If you're not going to tell us, we're going to go find out for ourselves. Deborah saying this happened to, it happened to your neighbor. So if you look up and you see a drone, it could be the insurance company. Could be the insurance company. A couple more things I want to get to before we go, because I know it's a packed show today. Wow. We do a lot of stories about the dollar stores. We all love the dollar stores. And I went to Dollar Tree, and there is something you should never buy at the dollar store. Something you should never buy at the dollar store, and it's batteries. And you're like, why, Jeff? The batteries are so cheap there. Because they sell a different type of battery at the dollar store that's not the kind of battery you want. So I went to the dollar store, made a little video for you to show you what we're talking about. Roll it, Mike.
So you see all these super heavy duty batteries, $125, but here's what you want to look for. These aren't regular batteries. Even though they're called super heavy duty, that's like the code word, these are carbon zinc batteries. These aren't like the Duracells or the Energizer batteries you buy. Super heavy duty, carbon zinc, not the same. You want alkaline batteries, okay? You want alkaline batteries. These last longer, these don't last as long. And you can see, even here at the dollar store, the alkaline batteries, what are they? They're $3. They're more expensive. When you see super heavy duty, you know you're getting carbon zinc. These are low drain. It even says it on the back. These are for low drain devices like your TV remote or a clock, because they run out fast. And here's a quick warning. I never ever, because it can be dangerous, want you to mix, these carbon zinc batteries with the alkaline batteries. Like, oh, I have 2 of these laying around the house and 2 of these laying around the house. They're both AAAs. I'll put them in. No, can be dangerous. Don't mix them. Stick with the alkaline.
Whenever you see heavy duty, we don't want heavy duty batteries. Oh, you want the regular alkaline batteries. Those are the ones you want. Just figured I'd tell you about that. Why not? Some news you can use before we head out. And I want to end on a good note. We've talked a lot about scams and privacy issues and drones flying over your house, and don't buy these batteries. I got some hotel deals that just dropped. Hotel deals just dropped from some pretty big chains, from Marriott and Wyndham. So let's start with Marriott. Marriott, you can now earn 2 times points on year-end travel. And you can see in the small print, I'll read it for you. You have to book by September 25th. So you have a few weeks left. Book by September 25th for a 3-night stay. You got to stay by December 31st. You got to stay before the end of the year, but you can get 2 times points. And speaking as a Marriott guy, I'm a Marriott Bonvoy guy. I live on these points. It's like a game.
So do I.
Because it saves real money. Like, you watch your thing going up in your account, and it's real money that you can save. I've taken trips with my family for free because of points. So it's a really cool perk. And then also Wyndham just dropped a really cool deal as well. And I'll run this through for you. You can save up to 20% on travel. For a 1-night stay, they're offering 10% savings. For 2 consecutive nights, 15% savings. And for 3 consecutive nights, up to 20% savings. You got to book by September 8th. That's the caveat. So I wanted to get on with this right now. You got to book by September 8th. So that's coming up in the next few days. Figure out where you want to go. And you have to make your stay before the end of the year. So they're really trying to clear out inventory, these hotel chains. You got to stay by December 31st. But book by September 8th for Wyndham. Book by September 25th for Marriott. And save some free cash. How cool is that? I also want you to, we do a lot of deep dives. If you like the story we did today about your TV spying on you and your fridge, I do a really deep dive on my Substack, my newsletter. The link is in the bio. It's rawsonreports.substack.com. Sign in right there. You can go check it out. And we do a lot of deep dive investigations there, stuff we don't have necessarily the time for here. So keep it coming, and we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us.